Roanoke Colony was the first attempt by the English to establish a colony in the Americas. Unfortunately, the colony failed when the settlers disappeared under mysterious circumstances, giving the colony the nickname the Lost Colony. Where was the Lost Colony located? The Roanoke Colony was located on Roanoke Island off the coast of North Carolina. The land was considered part of Virginia at the time. In 1584, the land of Virginia in North America was granted to Sir Walter Raleigh by Queen Elizabeth I. The British hoped to establish a foothold in the Americas to expand their empire. Raleigh sent out Captain Philip Amata and Captain Arthur Barlow to explore the area. They discovered Roanoke Island and met the local natives. Raleigh decided this would be a good place to establish a colony. The first expedition to Roanoke was led by Sir Richard Grenville. The expedition arrived at Roanoke in 1585. Grenville left 107 settlers, all men, at Roanoke under the charge of Rolfe Lane. Grenville then returned to England in order to gather additional supplies for the settlement. The settlers built a fort at Roanoke, but struggled to survive. It didn't help matters that they were constantly fighting with the local Native Americans. When English explorer Sir Francis Drake passed by the settlement and offered to take them back to England, the colonists agreed. Not long after the colonists left, Captain Grenville finally returned with new supplies, only to discover that the settlement had been abandoned. He left a small group of men on the island and then returned to England. The second attempt at starting a colony at Roanoke occurred in 1587. This time, 115 colonists traveled to Roanoke, led by John White. They hoped to find the men that Grenville had left a year earlier. However, upon their arrival, all they found at the settlement was a human skeleton. Despite this setback, the colonists began to build their settlement on Roanoke. Not long after their arrival, a girl named Virginia Dare was born. She was the first child born in the Americas to English parents. Unfortunately, the colonists continued to have disputes with the local tribes, and some colonists were killed. They also discovered that they were ill-prepared to build a thriving colony. John White decided to return to England in order to gain supplies and reinforcements for the colony. After returning to England, White could find little help for the colony. England was in the middle of a large battle with Spain and the Spanish Armada. As a result, White was unable to return until 3 years later in 1590. When White arrived, he found the colony completely abandoned. The only clues that White found included the words Croatan carved in a fence post and Crow carved into a tree. White found no sign of a struggle. However, he figured that the colonists had moved to Croatan, which was what they called the nearby island, Hatteras Island. He also had reason to hope, because he had told the colonists to carve a Maltese cross if they were being forced to leave. Since he found no cross, he figured the colonists were okay. White was unable to search the nearby island for the colonists because of a bad storm, and was forced to return to England. The colonists were never heard from again, and the colony gained the nickname the Lost Colony. There are many theories about the disappearance of the Roanoke Colony. Many historians think that the colonists moved. They probably moved to Hatteras Island or further inland to the forests of North Carolina. The colonists may have eventually starved to death or been killed by local tribes. They may also have survived, made friends with the local tribe, and eventually became a part of the tribe. One theory is that they became part of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. Another theory is that the Spanish, who didn't want the English in the Americas, destroyed the settlement and took the colonists captive. Virginia Dare was the granddaughter of the colony's leader and governor, John White. Roanoke Island is about 8 miles long and 2 miles wide. A bridge was built to Roanoke Island in 2002. It is called the Virginia Dare Memorial Bridge. No one is sure where the colony was located on the island. It is likely that the settlement is currently underwater due to erosion. You can learn more about these civilizations in the links below.